बंद करिए रखन लगे अस तक ठीक है नी ठीक है तो सब की गल ये नहीं करो पार्टी शार्टी का सवाल को नहीं लेना 6 तरीक फंक्शन है इतना फंक्शन की तरह वो इन्हें करे इधर फिर मैं 10 बार आके हाँ नहीं आवांगे ਉਹ ਪੱਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਈ ਆਖਾ ਰਹਿਣ ਦੇ ਸੋ
ਤੇਰੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ
ਯਾਰ ਕਿ ਮਾਲ
ਹੁਣ ਆਖਾ ਦਾ
ਕੱਲਾ ਤੂੰ ਕਰਨਾ
ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਖਾਦਾ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈਣਾ ਹੁਣ ਆਖਾ ਦਾ ਜੀ
ਕੱਲਾ ਯਾਰ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੱਕੇ
मगर कोई अफसर है क्या होता है
पहले तो बड़ा फैसला करो आपस में केड़ा अफसर है अच्छा फिर इधर ही मिलो
इन्हें दे दी है अच्छा बनेगा ये चल ये रे लोग बाबू की बात में कौन से नहीं
मैं
लास्ट इसके बाद आई कोई के बाद कोई नहीं वही ऐसे बता रहे हैं इसने अनाउंस ही नहीं किया कि वहाँ से वो पीपीटी मांग रहे हैं हमारी जो ये जो लेटेस्ट है आफ्टरनून की मैंने एक ही रखी थी आफ्टरनून की इधर ही ऐसे नींद आ रही थी गर्मी होगी ना इधर इस वक्त गर्मी है जिसमें चलाइए थोड़ा थोड़ा पक्का जोड़ना का ऐसे छोड़ थोड़ा 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 गर्मी हो रही है एक पानी में छित्ती 250 छित्ती
ड्राइवर को बोलो आप ड्यूटी दे लो, तो देते रहो ड्यूटी, हमारी ड्यूटी स्लिप लो, आप चार्ज करो वहाँ से पैसे, हमने एंगेज किया हुआ है।
इधर ही खड़े रहना भाई, कोई अगर ना ये रात को
वापस जा रहे हैं, 5 तक आप उन्हीं के साथ रहेंगे। हाँ 5 तक उन्हीं के साथ हैं। मुसद्दिक मैं इम्पा से बोल रहा हूँ, जिसने आपको कल ये ड्यूटी स्लिप दी है, डिप्लॉय किया है इनके साथ। आपकी गाड़ी का नंबर क्या है? 5002, यही है ना हमारे पास। तलाश होती है, इसके साथ रहो कंटिन्यू।
कंफर्म कर
Good afternoon, everybody, and we are shortly starting the next session of this conference. I request all of you to be seated, please, and those who are sitting at the back, they can come in the front, please, quickly. And we have developed a QR code for the conference material. It is pasted on the walls here. You can, take a picture of this and scan it for all the reading material. All the presentations are available in this barcode.
Yeah, hello, hello, hello. How are speaking? Hello, hello, hello.
I request everyone to be seated, please. We are going to start the post-lunch session. In the post-lunch session, it is my profound privilege to invite on dais Sri Chandrekar Bharati, Principal Secretary, Home, Government of Jammu and Kashmir. Sir is a very senior IAS officer of 1996 batch who has served in several capacities in the government and manned several senior positions as the Joint Secretary, Ministry of Defense. May I now request, sir, to chair the session on sharing of best practices from Jammu and Kashmir. May I now request you, sir, to kindly be on the dais and start the session, please. With this, I also request, I take this privilege to invite on dais Dr. Anjum Andrabi, who is Assistant Director of HADP in the Agriculture Production Department of Jammu and Kashmir. He has played a significant and key role in the policy formulation in transforming the agriculture sector in Jammu and Kashmir. He has been conferred with the state award also in this regard. May I request you, sir, to kindly be on the dais for your presentation. I also invite on dais Sri Alok Maurya, Additional Chief Executive Officer of Mata Vaishno Devi Board, Katra, Jammu, for his presentation on the pioneering work on the real-time tracking and surveillance of Vaishno Devi Yatra management through RFID and technology and the CCTV network. May I now request you, sir, to kindly join us on the dais, please. I also take the opportunity to invite on the dais Sri Rajiv Ranjan, Secretary, Labour and Employment Department of Jammu and Kashmir, for sharing his best practice and initiative on implementation of Mission Yuva to empower youth in Jammu and Kashmir through empowering micro-enterprises. I also invite Sri Piyush Singla, Secretary, Information Technology Department, Government of Jammu and Kashmir, for his presentation and J&K specific initiative on e-office as the best practice of Jammu and Kashmir. So may I request you, sir, to kindly join us over here on the dais, please. Okay. I take this privilege to invite Madam Sarita Chauhan also on the dais, please, to chair the session. Madam Sarita Chauhan. She's Additional Secretary, Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, Jammu and Government of India, please. Now I request the session chair to kindly start with the deliberations of the session, please.
Thank you, ma'am. And let me take this opportunity to invite the kind attention of all the delegates for this very, very important session, which aims to highlight what good works and initiatives have been taken by Government of Jammu Kashmir over the last couple of years. So, as already mentioned, we have 4 distinguished speakers on the stage. I also will go one by one. And also, before we start the speakers, I would also like to welcome Sarita Chauhan ji, Additional Secretary DRPG, as a co-chair for this session. So, without much ado, may I now request Dr. Anjum Andrabi, Agriculture Department of J&K, to show light and throw light and what we have achieved in the HDP, very important program in J&K. Dr. Andrabi, please.
Thank you, sir. Respected chairperson, distinguished gathering, and my dear friends, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Anjuman Rabi, and by training, I'm a veterinarian with a passion for digital solutions. Previously, my interest in quadrupeds and binary logic were distinct, but with the advent of HADP and all the tools that we employed in developing solutions for the farmers of Jammu and Kashmir, I was able to use these skills as an opportunity to further augment the development of agriculture in the UT. Today I'm presenting a case study from the Agriculture Production Department on the Holistic Agriculture Development Program. So this is not a scheme by scheme presentation. I'm not going to give you details of all the steps and the projects and the proposals that we put forth under this, but I'm going to tell you a governance story. What we changed inside the government so that services reach farmers with fewer visits and with predictable timelines and measurable follow-throughs. So, we're supposed to run a video here. So looks like it's not running the video. Yeah, so before HADP, the farmer experience was multiple counters, repeated documentation, and physical follow-ups for status. From an administrative side, delivery had multiple entry points with no single workflow. Approval often became the endpoint. After establishment, the proof of establishment was weak. Credit linkages were not embedded into the same process. The result was predictable: delays and drop-offs between approval and establishment, and senior level reviews relied more on narratives than field statuses. So as we all know, agriculture in J&K consists of approximately 13 lakh farmer families, and it employs around 50% of its workforce. Close to 70% of the population depends on agriculture. At 37,000 crore annual gross value, it contributes approximately 18% to the GDP of J&K. Why I'm showing this slide is to underline why execution leakage matters more in J&K. Terrain constraints. As we all know, we operate from as high as 3,000 meters above sea level to around 300 meters above sea level. Then at the same time, small holdings. So our average holding size is only 0.4 hectares compared to the national holding size of around 1.08 hectare. And by definition, any holder under 0.38 hectares is considered a small or marginal farmer. So thus most of our farmers, a majority of our farmers belong to this category. And at the same time, every extra visit, every delay, and every missing credit linkage reduce the involvement and interest of our farmers. So governance requirement was clear: reduce friction for farmers and increase visibility and accountability for administration. This is the kind of diagnosis we arrived at. It's about system design and not intent. First, delivery was fragmented across schemes and windows. So there was no single view of the farmer's status. The farmer had to run from department to department. Convergence was almost negligible to missing entirely. Secondly, monitoring involved only measuring activity in terms of sanctions and releases, because outputs were very hard to verify. Third, credit and post-approval follow-through were not built into the workflow. So establishment depended on individual efforts. Fourth, leadership visibility came late. So pendency and ground realities came after the decision window was either very narrow or already had closed. In short, without an end-to-end chain, the system produced approvals without ensuring outcomes. Now, this is the pre-HADP kind of a vicious cycle of low-growth agriculture that was prevalent in J&K. So, low capital formation led to low capital infusion from the farmers, and this coupled with low levels of mechanization in the fields, low skill in the farming community, led to a low total factor productivity, and which again led to low growth in agriculture, so the cycle kept on repeating and repeating endlessly. Then at the same time, schemes were perceived as subsidy events and not anything that would be entrepreneurial in spirit. Similarly, farmers viewed certain sectors at high risk and they were avoiding any enterprise investments there. So this is the field reality that the old model reinforced. And this is why HADP's governance correction was to treat approval as an intermediary milestone and not as the end results, and to build a chain that continues through establishment and measurable outputs. So I'm just going to breeze through the HADP story here. Most of us may know that it was under the leadership of Honorable LG that a committee of ex-DGICR, Dr. Mangla Rai, an apex committee was formed in 2022. The committee submitted 29 DPRs or projects that were approved by the Administrative Council in December 2022. And the program was officially dedicated to the people of Jammu and Kashmir by the Honorable Prime Minister in March 2024. So HADP was structured in a mission mode. The key point here is not the wordings or the vision statement. The key point is that the program was organized with a common execution architecture. So delivery could be standardized and reviewed across projects. This is what enabled us to move from fragmented scheme handling to pipeline management. Again, this is provides a program context, so 29 projects across agriculture, horticulture, livestock, the focus on R&D and dynamic evolution. So the takeaway here is simple. So regardless of project category and the delivery discipline was made an underlying common. So mobilization, onboarding, skilling, service facilitation, and output proof and dashboard level review. So the implementation was delivered through 3 phases. And these are not mutually exclusive events. These are phases that till this day continue because they keep on augmenting each other. So phase 1 creates outreach and awareness with data captured for baseline survey review. Then at the same time, phase 2 converts demand into trackable workflows through digital onboarding and skilling. And phase 3 enforces grounding and monitoring. So monthly reporting, rankings, service delivery through field institutions, and output tracking. And finally, review tools. So each phase has measurable checkpoints, so review is based on evidence and not narratives. So this is what we started with. So in April of 2023, we launched the first Kisan Sampark Abhiyan. This was again a digitally driven program wherein we reached almost 9.5 lakh farmer families and collected data from approximately 6.3 lakh farmers. So this collection, this whole process was through digital tools. So all our employees would go with their tablets and gather this data and put it online into a database. So it had a structure, and it was the aim was again to get a baseline detail. So across the phases, we converted this awareness into a trackable mobilization and baseline data that later supported our targeting and monitoring mechanism. So this is the dashboard that was created for the baseline survey analysis. So we had around 4,71,000 unique responses. Some of the responses we, because of certain statistical irregularities out of the 6 lakhs we removed. So then we were able to share this data with all the stakeholders, the developmental departments as well as the universities for working out reports and structured interventions for all the projects that we were going to implement. So now, because of this Kisan Sampark Abhiyan, where we were also going to the farmers with, so we had a huge repository of video material that we displayed at every panchayat. So every panchayat was covered during this Kisan Sampark Abhiyan, and we had 3 days in a week, 3 times, so just to ensure that every farmer is reached. So 3 days in a week for every panchayat, and we would play these videos across the 29 projects so that all the activities, so around 171 activities that were eligible for farmers to apply for, were displayed there, and the data regarding them, the information was conveyed. So the idea was to create an informed demand. So the farmer who would come on our digital platform would be informed about what he needs, he or she, and then we want to convert this demand into a trackable workflow. So this is the Kisan Sathi portal. So this was launched midway into 2023. So it's been almost 2.5 years into existence. We have received over 6 lakh applications till date, and we have given around 4 lakh approvals, and we have also roped in our 10,000 strong CSC network and our 2,000 Kisan Khidmatgars. We'll come to Kisan Khidmatgar network, another IT enabled tool that we deployed for execution of HADP. So 2,000 Kisan Khidmatgars, 10,000 CSCs coming together to get this workflow up. So one of the important integrations of this platform was to get credit support in line. So now the farmer, after applying, if there's a need for credit support, does not have to separately go to the financial institution. The financial institution workflow is built into this. So whenever an application is approved from the department side and the farmer has indicated the need for credit, it automatically goes to the selected financial institution. To further make it more easy for the farmer to understand the credit needs and requirements and what kind of repayment schedules he would be subject to, a credit scheme advisor. So consider it a policy bazaar kind of app for agricultural schemes. So across the spectrum of CAPEX and central schemes, the farmer would get to know, depending on his or her interest and sectoral preferences, and at the same time the appetite for risk as well as the credit, the capital in hand, a best fit scheme along with eligible intervention in terms of interest subvention was offered to the farmer. And because the banks were insisting on a bankable DPR, a DPR generator, an IT-enabled DPR generator, personalized for each and every farmer, was also created, that was first validated with the financial institution. So, so this is the workflow for these Kisan Sathi approval process. So this was the farmer submit their applications online, which are initially reviewed by the district scrutiny officer. Approved applications then proceed to the field level officer, who goes to the farmer and does every kind of paperwork there at the farmer's doorstep. And finally, the district committee headed by the respective deputy commissioners approve the cases, and finally the HODs release the subsidies through a back-ended mechanism. So two things matter here. One, correction of deficiencies is pushed back into workflow through field verification. So there is a back and forth movement of application form. Nothing is rejected. So there is no reject button in the system. So if there is any deficiency at any level, it goes back one step, the deficiency is removed, and we are able to resubmit that application more like what we do with files in e-office. So the same process was employed here. And secondly, the bank linkage became a part of the same chain and not an afterthought. So because of this, what happens? Pendencies became identifiable, where the application is, who is holding it, what is missing, and where action is required. Then this was coupled with another IT platform, the Daksh Kisan skilling. So the idea here was, so this was a deliberate governance choice and not so the idea here was capacity before capital. So registrations and skill completions were tracked and skilling rate was visible. So administrative lever here is that final release is contingent upon completion of a skilling course. So these courses are administered by the two agriculture universities. So the farmer completes an online module. For this, again, the CSCs and the Kisan Khidmat Gars, almost 12,000 of them, are available across the UT, and they help the farmer in coming on board and completing this modular kind of training program, multilingual, 4 languages, English, Hindi, Urdu, Dogri, and Kashmiri. So once the farmer completes that, a simple examination and then a certificate is issued that is used to claim the last installment of subsidy. Now coming to the third phase, the grounding and monitoring. So here, for grounding, 5 important steps, 5 important tools were used: a monthly progress report, monthly district ranking, KKG, Kisan Khidmat Gar service delivery, output tracking, so proof of output, and Kisan Sathi 360 review, a dashboard of kind. So with each of these, a project grounding and monitoring oversight was also created. So dedicated multidisciplinary committees that would help the farmer in grounding his project. So, so this is again our online monthly reporting tracking database. So we are monitoring right now 400 plus data points across these projects, and these are reviewed and submitted on a monthly level by all the implementing agencies. Then this is coupled with monthly district rankings. So each district is ranked based on how they have performed and where they are lacking. So this dashboard converts performance or data into administrative pressure. The district ranking makes performance comparable and visible, so quickly showing us which districts are moving through the pipeline, applications, establishment, tracking, and which districts are accumulating pendencies. These changes review culture. Discussions shift from general updates to exceptions, delays, and corrective action. So these are the dynamic metrics. So these
excuse me, Dr. Andrabi, here.
Sorry? Yeah.
Can you please wind up in 2 minutes?
Yes, sure.
We request to cut down on the slides.
Yeah, we're just finishing, sir. So coming to one of the grounding interventions was the Kisan Khidmat Gar. And this is again intended for a practical reason. The last mile delivery cannot depend on the IT environment only. So it acts as a front office, assisted digital services, advisories, and support after approval so that units do not stall. So this is again how the various services through kiosk, through web portal, and through the Krishi Udyami, an agri entrepreneur at the site. Then finally the output tracking app. So this app gives us proof of establishment and year-wise output of every unit that has been established under this ecosystem. So again, so far in the last 2 years, we have established over 1 lakh units, of which 92,000 have so far been tracked. And the revenue generated by these units is around 366 crores and 2.12 crore man days or person days of employment have been generated. So these are a few of the documentation things that have been achieved. So here we see how the tools connect the pipeline. These are not technological products, but they are governance instruments. Kisan Sathi standardizes entry and creates an audit trail. The Daksh Kisan verifies capacity. KKG provides assisted service and follow through, as well as outputs are geo-verified and establishment and year-wise outputs are recorded. So this again, finally we have the Kisan Sathi 360 dashboard. So this dashboard is a filterable dashboard for each and every of these verticals, that can be filtered right up to the panchayat and village level, and one can check from each of the verticals perspective how a particular village, a panchayat or a district is performing. So this is an administrative tool. So this is this is where we are right now, and this is what we are aiming for by 2030. So this kind of outcome of 100,000 crores cannot be achieved only through subsidies, and that is why a sustained pipeline discipline, mobilization, onboarding, skilling, follow through, and verified outcomes that are reviewed continuously is required. So as we close, I want to summarize HADP in one administrative sentence. We moved from scheme processing to pipeline management. The pipeline is simple and reviewable. We start in the field through Kisan Sampark Abhiyans, mobilization, baseline capture. We work through Kisan Sathi, application processing, credit linkage, sit in the same chain. We insist on Daksh Kisan. Before we give capital, we keep a physical front office through Kisan Khidmat Gars, because last mile delivery is in real conditions cannot depend on app alone. And at the same time, accountability through the output tracking application, where establishment and year-wise outputs are captured. This is what changed inside government. Approvals are no longer treated as completions, and establishment outputs are now the new benchmarks. They are proof that pipeline is producing verifiable results, what I am breezing through now. And at the same time, if there is one last governance lesson worth carrying from this initiative is this, that farmer-facing programs improve not by adding more schemes, but by designing one execution chain, assigning responsibility at each step, and reviewing it using evidence and not narratives. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Andrabi, and thank you for very, very detailed insight to the important scheme of HADP. Would have appreciated a complete synchronization of the manpower, the manual inputs, the technological inputs, and being an end-to-end scheme and focused on the outcome-based parameters, which ultimately leads to the better livelihood of farming community. The second speaker would be Mr. Alok Maurya, Additional CEO, Shri Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine Board. The importance of this yatra, we are all, I need not emphasize on that. The technology, the manpower, the inputs, which goes into smooth management of this yatra, it's not only the manpower, but also the technology which is made use of. So our next speaker, Mr. Alok Maurya, would dwell upon these things. Over to you, Dr. Alok.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, senior officers, dignitaries, colleagues, and friends. I'm Alok Kumar Maurya, Additional CEO, Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine Board. I'm here to present on the topic real-time tracking and surveillance for Yatra management through RFID and CCTV-based technology. Jai Mata Di. This is a glimpse of holy pindis of Mata Vaishno Devi. And it is believed that Mata has been present here in the state of meditation since Treta Yuga, and this holy cave was rediscovered by Pandit Sridharji approximately 700 years ago. Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine Board was established in the year 1986, and since then it has been working towards improvement of yatra facilities and its management. These are the year-wise yatra figures, and we see a general increasing trend over the years, with the peak being in 2012 when yatra reached approximately 1 crore 4 lakhs. These are the figures of last 5 years. Why was there a need for RFID-based yatra registration? Earlier, Shrine Board had paper slip-based yatra registration system, and it was difficult to ascertain the head count present on the track. So, from the perspective of crowd management, a need was felt to have a system which will provide real-time yatri data across the yatra track in different sectors. And also, for lost pilgrims, it was difficult to track their loved ones without any operational phone. What is RFID? RFID is radio frequency identification device. It's a wireless technology based on radio frequency. It uses a tag, a reader, and antenna system to capture and transmit data without physical contact. It is fast, contactless, and automated. It is durable and low maintenance. This is the step where the process begins. RFID-based yatra registration. These are the visuals, how the registration is being done. So we have total 39 registration counters spread over Katra town and Jammu. And on the track we have 26 UHF devices to track the pilgrims along the yatra track. After this we have a MIS dashboard which keeps track of pilgrims in real time, and the details are shared with the security and enforcement related agencies. Apart from the counters, for the pilgrims registering themselves online, we have a self-registration kiosk. It dispenses Yatra ID card, RFID card, based on the number registered online. This is the complete infrastructure behind the system. Registration counters, then reprogrammable cards, UHF readers on the track, and for verification of the cards, different kiosks and handheld scanners. These are the details of counters and kiosks. Now this is the dashboard. If it is visible, on the top left, we have the total registration number available in the real time. With that, we have the persons entering the track. So we see total registration is nearly 13,000, and the people present on the track are 12,000. And next to that gives the detail of various counters through which people have registered. Below this, we have hourly trend of yatris entering the track, which helps in planning of crowd. And below this, we have different heat maps in various sectors based on the yatri numbers. So there is orange and red kind of theme for high pilgrim presence. These are the impacts and advantages of the system. It helps in crowd management through color coding scheme sector-wise. CCTV coverage is there for all the key points. There is end-to-end real-time data availability in the server room for verification of yatris. The system relies on optical fiber-based communication, so it is response of the system is immediate, and it helps in photo ID verification of the yatris. It also helps in prompt redressal of lost pilgrim grievances. Apart from yatris, there are nearly 11,400 service providers on the track. These include mule operators, palki walas, and pram persons. So for them, there is a dedicated RFID based verification system, and along the track we have 2 digital verification kiosks also. For the registration of ponies and other operators, we have different prepaid counters, details of which is given here. Now coming to CCTV based surveillance system. Over a period of time, nearly 550 cameras were installed in the various sectors of Shrine Board track. These included bullet cameras, dome cameras, point to zoom cameras and other cameras. And during 2024, it was decided that all these cameras should be integrated into an AI-based integrated command and control center, which was done, and during 2025, the system was made operational. These are the glimpses of inauguration day. The integrated command and control center is situated at Katra, and it has connection of all the cameras and a software running an AI system over the data. Apart from this, there are 7 sub-control centers located on the track. These are present in Tarakot, Bandganga, Adkuari, Sanjichat, Himkoti, Bhairoji and Bhavan. The data is relayed through optical fiber cable network of the board, and all the critical locations are also connected with EP bag system, which is also based on optical fiber cable. These are the visuals of the AI based system. So all the yatris are getting covered. So the camera system is getting head count at all entry and exit points. It is also detecting the faces and storing the data in the server. There is feature of automatic number plate recognition for monitoring vehicles flying on the track for material movement. These are the benefit of integrated command and control center. It is AI based, so with time, with the availability of more data, the system improves itself. It covers all entry and exit points, critical gathering areas, ingress points and tri-junctions. It is a deterrent to antisocial elements. It also helps in supervision of frisking and baggage screening teams. It helps in real-time decision making for security and emergency response teams. It helps in crowd management. It also helps in interdepartmental coordination, and ultimately it leads to increased pilgrim safety. With this, I close my presentation. Thank you. Jai Mata.
Thank you, Mr. Alok. Again, just like in HADP, you would have seen complete synchronization between manual efforts and technological inputs in the shape of RFID and CCTV. CCTV, the very important component is the ICCC, Integrated Command and Control Center. And more you make the machine learn, and the more and more it becomes useful for the better management of the yatra, especially in terms of facial recognition system, the reduction in the theft cases, lost and found cases. So as we go on making the machines learn more and more, more beneficial it becomes to the entire management of the yatra per se. I would now request Mr. Rajiv Ranjan. He is Secretary Labour and Employment, Government of J&K, and very important flagship program of Mission UA is heading. Over to you, Rajiv.
HADP का एक्सटेंशन प्रोग्राम ही है, only designed by the Chief Secretary himself. When I joined है ना, अब मुझे एक टारगेट दिया गया था कि मास जम्मू कश्मीर में एक प्रॉब्लम है मास अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट की, पैन इंडिया प्रॉब्लम है, बट जम्मू कश्मीर में ऑफ कोर्स एक कल्चर है डेली वेजर बनने का, क्योंकि और कोई एम्प्लॉयमेंट यहाँ बड़ी इंडस्ट्रीज़ नहीं है। तो जो इसके लिए एक जो कॉमन सेंस से भी सॉल्यूशन समझ में आता है कि जो बड़ी इंडस्ट्रीज नहीं है तो आप क्या कर सकते हैं, मास एम्प्लॉयमेंट कर सकते हैं आप, छोटी छोटी है ना, छोटे हर गांव में छोटा सा एम्प्लॉयमेंट कर सकते हैं। बट टू गिव इट ए स्ट्रक्चर है ना, वी हैड वेरी डिटेल्ड इंटरेक्शन विद द गवर्नमेंट इंस्टीट्यूशंस, एकेडमिक इंस्टीट्यूशंस, फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस, बिकॉज दे आर ऑल स्टेक होल्डर्स। इससे पहले जो हमारे प्रोग्राम बनते थे, बिकॉज वी ऑल्सो एनालाइज है ना, अराउंड 20-30 सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट स्कीम्स आर ऑलरेडी गोइंग ऑन इन JNK एंड अक्रॉस इंडिया, बट वॉट यू कैन फाइंड दैट द इम्पैक्ट ऑन द ग्राउंड इज़ वेरी लेस। स्कीम्स में एक टारगेट होता है 5,000 या 10,000, बहुत साल अचीव हो जाता है, फिर उसका कोई फॉलोअप नहीं होता, ना सोसाइटी में उसका कोई इम्पैक्ट सा दिखता है। वो डिपार्टमेंट जरूर अपने प्रेजेंटेशन में बता रहे होते हैं कि भाई हमने ये टारगेट था, हमने अचीव कर लिया, बट उसका कोई बहुत रियल इम्पैक्ट ऑन द ग्राउंड फ्रॉम द सिटीजन साइड है ना, ऐसा कभी नहीं देखने आया। तब अदरवाइज द प्रॉब्लम विल नॉट हैव देयर है ना, इफ सो मेनी स्कीम्स आर गोइंग ऑन फॉर सो मेनी ईयर्स, तब भी ये प्रॉब्लम इतनी कंसिस्टेंट है। So that's why we thought कि we should include every stakeholders, and the biggest stakeholders in this are financial institutions है ना, पैसा उन्होंने ही देना अगर आपको कोई स्कीम चलानी है तो गवर्नमेंट कैन बी एनेबलर, कैटलिस्ट हम हैं, बट मेन बल्क पैसा तो बैंक्स के साथ ही आना है। इसलिए वी थॉट कि राइट फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग वी शुड इन्वाइट देम एंड दे वेर पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ दिस स्कीम व्हेन इट वाज डिजाइन्ड। लॉट ऑफ वर्कशॉप्स वर हेल्ड एंड आफ्टर दैट दिस व्हाट वी कैन सेंस दैट जो पहला चीज़ हमें समझ में आया कि जम्मू कश्मीर में मिसिंग है वो है ऑफ कोर्स पूरे नॉर्थ इंडिया में मिसिंग है, इट इज़ एंटरप्रेन्योर इकोसिस्टम हमारे पास नहीं है। मैं आगे इसको एक्सप्लेन करूँगा और क्यों नहीं है, इसके कई रीजंस हैं, बट सबसे बड़ा जो मुझे रीज़न लगा वो है माइंडसेट का। मुझे लगा जब तक हम माइंडसेट नहीं क्रिएट करेंगे, इससे पहले हमने जितनी गवर्नमेंट की स्कीमें देखी उसमें बड़ा सिंपल सा अप्रोच है। गवर्नमेंट एक स्कीम लेके आती है और उसमें कहती है कि हम कैपिटल सब्सिडी देंगे आपको 25% या 30% एंड दैट्स इट। आप स्कीम और उसके बाद वो सिस्टम ऑनलाइन होता है, उसमें आपको एलिजिबिलिटी रहती है कि यू आर दिस सो एंड सो इज़ एलिजिबल, इफ़ यू अप्लाइज देयर इज़ अ प्रोसेस, DC अप्रूव्स इट, बैंक्स गिव इट्स, यू गेट 40% सब्सिडी एंड वी जस्ट फॉरगेट कि व्हाट हैपेंस आफ्टर दैट। तो इट हैज़ बीन लेफ्ट टू द सिटीजन्स है ना कि हु इज़ इंटरेस्टेड, फर्स्ट कम फर्स्ट सर्व का अप्रोच है हमारा अभी तक जितनी स्कीमें। सो हमें लगा कि अगर हमें चेंज करना है तो ये इकोसिस्टम को अगर हम चेंज कर पाएँ तो बाकी आगे की चीज़ें हमें करने की उतनी ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। बट सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज था कि इकोसिस्टम को कैसे चेंज करें। तो अगर आप देखें हमें लगा हमें डिमांड साइड पे गैप है और सप्लाई साइड में भी गैप है। डिमांड साइड में क्या गैप है, सबसे बड़ा जो गैप है जो सबके साथ है, एंड दिस इज़ पार्ट ऑफ एवरीबडीज़ लाइफ, इज साइकोलॉजिकल बैरियर, फियर। 99% जो वॉर है वो तो माइंड में ही है ना। इवन वी बिकम ऑफिसर्स, उसमें भी अगर देखें जाए 99% जो IAS के केस की तैयारी करने जाते हैं वो भी फर्स्ट फेज में आउट हो जाते हैं बिकॉज उनको लगता है सिलेबस बहुत बड़ा है। वही हाल किसी बिजनेस करने को लेके, इनफैक्ट जब मैंने अब खुद से ही पूछा या जितने हमारे ऑफिसर्स हैं जो स्कीम को इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं कि उनको अगर 10 लाख रुपए दिए जाते हैं वो क्या बिजनेस करेंगे, दे डू नॉट हैव एनी आइडिया है ना, कि 10 लाख अगर हमें ही मिलेंगे एज ए सेक्रेटरी लेबर एम्प्लॉयमेंट, मैं कौन सा बिजनेस करूँगा। मेरे माइंड में खुद फियर है कि ये 10 लाख मेरे डूब जाएंगे, मैं पता नहीं सही बिजनेस कर पाऊँगा कि नहीं कर पाऊँगा, वेदर आई विल गेट द रिटर्न और नॉट, बैंक का पैसा मैं वापस लौटा पाऊँगा कि नहीं। दिस इज़ अ वेरी जेन्युइन फियर। इसको कैसे टैकल करना वो हम बाद में सोचें, उसका भी हम लोगों ने सॉल्यूशन निकाला। उसके बाद लैक ऑफ बिजनेस आइडिया द सेकंड, द बिगेस्ट बॉटलनेक आफ्टर द फियर। वंस द फियर इज़ गॉन वी डोंट नो। अगर आप गांव में जाएंगे सबसे पहले पूछेंगे ठीक है तो आप बताएं सर हमें करना क्या है, ही विल आस्क यू द क्वेश्चन कि सर ठीक है आप स्कीम लेके आए, आप ये बताओ हमें प्रोजेक्ट कौन सा करना है, आप ही हमें कोई बिजनेस आइडिया बताएं जो बिजनेस चलेगा। तो लैक ऑफ बिजनेस आइडिया इज द बिगेस्ट बॉटलनेक सेकंड हमें लगा। उसके बाद ऑफकोर्स ब्यूरोक्रेटिक हर्डल, NOCs। हम ऑब्वियसली जब कोई प्लान बनाते हैं तो हम इतने ज़्यादा चेक एंड बैलेंसेज रखना चाहते हैं ना, ताकि एक दैट इज़ वाउ इट हैज़ इवॉल्व है ना, ब्यूरोक्रेटिक सिस्टम हैज़ इवॉल्व लाइक दिस, द मोर NOC इट इज़ देयर द सेफर द ब्यूरोक्रेट फील्स दैट इट इज़ बेटर। देन देयर फाइनेंशियल हर्डल, ऑफकोर्स लास्ट में तो ऑफकोर्स बैंक के आपको चक्कर लगाने पड़ते हैं। कॉमन सेंस में भी इनफैक्ट ये तो मेरा अभी भी मानना है कि आपके सेविंग अकाउंट अगर आप खोलने जाते हैं तो जो फॉर्म मिलता है, आई थिंक एवरीबडी विल एग्री कि नोबडी हैज़ रेड दैट फॉर्म, और अभी तक किसी को नहीं पता है उस सेविंग अकाउंट में इतने क्लॉजेज हैं, उसका कोई मीनिंग है क्या। इनफैक्ट इतने पढ़े लिखे होने के बाद भी लास्ट में ब्रांच मैनेजर हमें टिक लगा के देखता है, यहाँ साइन कर देना, यहाँ करना, यहाँ करना। दिस इज अ फैक्ट ऑफ लाइफ। ये अभी भी है, अभी भी टिक लगाता है, हम वही साइन करते हैं। तो हमें लगा, तो सोचिए एक आम बंदे को ये हमारा हाल, एक आम बंदे को बैंकिंग सिस्टम में जब वो जाता होगा एक लोन लेने के लिए, उसको कितने, ये सेविंग अकाउंट है, ये मेरा अपना पैसा है, उसको बैंक में जमा करने के इतने हर्डल्स हैं, तो टेकिंग ए लोन फ्रॉम बैंक हाउ ईजी इट इज़, है ना, इट इज़ नॉट ए ईजी टास्क। और सप्लाई साइड में हमें क्या गैप लगा, हमारी कैपेसिटी नहीं है। मैंने खुद का एग्जांपल दिया कि मुझे ही पता नहीं है कि कौन सा बिजनेस करना है। बैंक वालों से पूछा, दे डोंट हैव आइडिया। नबार्ड के लोगों से पूछा कि आप यार बिजनेस बता के दो। अगर आप नबार्ड की बुकलेट पढ़ेंगे, वेरी बिग बुकलेट्स कम्स, है ना, फॉर एवरी स्टेट, फॉर पैन इंडिया, है ना, कि भाई जम्मू एंड कश्मीर की मैंने पढ़ी 8,000 करोड़ की जिससे एग्रीकल्चर में पोटेंशियल है ना, दैट इज़ अ बुकलेट। बट 8,000 करोड़ इज़ अ बिग फिगर। मैंने उनको बोला कैन यू ब्रेक डाउन इनटू प्रोजेक्ट्स लेस दैन 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 50 lakhs, तभी तो एक्यूमुलेट होकर 8,000 करोड़ होने चाहिए ना। कितने प्रोजेक्ट्स बनेंगे जो 8,000 करोड़ की पोटेंशियल लाएंगे? दे डोंट हैव द आंसर, दे आर नॉट एबल टू ब्रेक। हम बड़ा सा पिक्चर तो जरूर प्रेजेंट करते हैं, बट वर्केबल प्रैक्टिकल DPRs हमारे पास नहीं है, जो मुझे लगा सबसे बड़ा बॉटलनेक सप्लाई साइड में। दूसरा, हमारी कैपेसिटी नहीं है, अफसरों की भी और फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस की भी, कि हम सही से ठीक से एवोलेट कर सकें सिस्टम। बाकी ऑफ कोर्स दीज आर थिंग्स, लैक ऑफ सिनर्जी बिटवीन गवर्नमेंट इंस्टीट्यूशंस, एवरीबडी नोज, है ना। सो दीज थिंग्स वी थॉट दैट दीज आर द बिगेस्ट बॉटलनेक्स। अगर हम इसको नहीं कर्व कर पाए तो दिस विल बिकम अनदर स्कीम फॉर विच मे बी द टारगेट विल बी देयर एंड विल डू समथिंग बट इज़ नॉट गोइंग टू इम्पैक्ट ऑन द ग्राउंड। सो अगर आप देखें, हमने लिस्ट भी किया है कि देयर ऑल आर द गवर्नमेंट कैपिटल स्कीम्स, है ना, बट देयर इज नो इंस्टीट्यूशनल सेटअप। कोई बैकअप करने के लिए रेडी नहीं, कोई बताने के लिए नहीं है कि DPR कैसे बनाना है तुम्हें। बैंक में गवर्नमेंट में अगर तुम्हें दिक्कत हो रही है तो गवर्नमेंट के पास जाना ही क्यों है तुम्हें, है ना, यू डोंट हैव टू गो टू एनी ऑफिस। दैट इज द सेकंड बॉटलनेक कैन रिमूव। थर्ड बॉटलनेक कैन रिमूव दैट वी इंक्लूड फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस राइट इन द बिगिनिंग, कि DPR पहले ही तुम चेक कर लो, बाद में रिजेक्ट करने से अच्छा है कि तुम फर्स्ट हैंड पे ही तुम रिजेक्ट कर दो। दिस विल सेव टाइम एंड मनी फॉर एवरीबडी, राइट फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट एजेंसीज टू दी बेनिफिशरीज। उसका भी टाइम मनी बचेगा और वो फिर से नया DPR बना के आएगा, rather than after putting 6 months, if my DPR gets rejected at bank after 6 months, I will losing my money and time, everything. तो ये सब डिस्कशन करके we came out with this, then we came out with this program, जिसका एक अगर ऑब्जेक्टिव आप देखेंगे तो 1.37 लाख इंटरप्राइजेज हमने सोचा क्रिएट करेंगे और 5 लाख एम्प्लॉयमेंट रफली। एंड वाई दिस फिगर वी हैव टेकन, बिकॉज हमें लगा कि अगर हम जब तक लैक्स में नहीं करेंगे कोई काम, उसका ग्राउंड में इम्पैक्ट नहीं होगा। इफ यू स्टूड कीप डूइंग इन थाउजेंड्स, है ना, इट विल नेवर, है ना, पर्कुलेट टू एवरी विलेज। 7,000 गाँव है यहाँ पे, 6,850 जम्मू कश्मीर में। तो हमने सोचा अगर 20 से मल्टीप्लाई करें ना तो इट विल कम्स टू 1.4, है ना। 7,000 गाँव, अगर हमारा टारगेट ये था कि हर गांव में हमने अगर 20 इंटरप्राइजेस सक्सेसफुल हमने सेटअप कर दिए तो फिर हमें और कुछ करने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है। सीइंग इज़ बिलीविंग, है ना। फिर लोगों को ना सब्सिडी चाहिए ना कुछ चाहिए, वो खुद बिजनेस देख के जो 20 सक्सेसफुल स्टोरीज अगर उनके हमने हर गांव में क्रिएट कर दी, देन पीपल विल देमसेल्फ इमुलेट दिस एंड दिस इकोसिस्टम विल कम बाय इटसेल्फ। फिर लोगों को कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है हमारे पास आने के लिए, बैंक के पास आने के लिए। उनके ऑलरेडी सक्सेस स्टोरीज, उनके मेंटर्स ऑलरेडी उनके गांव पे होंगे। अगर 20 बिजनेस सक्सेसफुल हो हर गांव में तो हमने 20 मेंटर हमने क्रिएट करना है, वो देमसेल्फ विल ड्राइव द सिस्टम। दैट्स वाई द फिगर हैज़ बीन टेकन। और अगर आप देखें इसमें इसीलिए 4 पिलर हम लोगों ने लिया ड्यू टू बजट कंस्ट्रेंट्स। हमने बोला सब, और बाद में हम लोगों ने इसको वैलिडेट भी किया अपने बेस्ट लाइन सर्वे से। हमने बोला कि बजट कंस्ट्रेंट भी गवर्नमेंट के पास है, इसलिए हमारा फोकस होगा, इसलिए केम आउट विथ ए टर्म नैनो इंटरप्राइजेस। आप देखें गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया में MSME एक टर्म है ना, MSME, बट MSME के अगर डिफिनेशन देखेंगे, माइक्रो उसको बोलते हैं, इसकी टर्नओवर 5 करोड़ है। हमें लगा 5 करोड़ इज अ बिग थिंग, है ना। 10 लाख के नीचे के हम पे फोकस करेंगे, हम मास अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट के बारे में सोच रहे हैं। एक आम बंदा 10 लाख से ऊपर की बिजनेस करने का, नॉर्मली हमने वो बाद में सर्वे करके वैलिडेट कराया कि 10 लाख से नीचे के लोग, इनफैक्ट 5 लाख से नीचे के लोग बिजनेस स्टार्ट करना चाहते हैं, स्टार्ट विथ। तो हम लोगों ने रखा कि हमारा जो मैक्सिमम फोकस होगा 1,37,000 में 1,25,000 विल फोकस ऑन नैनो इंटरप्राइजेज, जिसका प्रोजेक्ट कॉस्ट इज लेस दैन 10 lakhs। तो पहला फोकस था हमारा नैनो इंटरप्राइजेज। ऑफ कोर्स उसको सपोर्ट करने के लिए हमें लगा कि थोड़े बड़े इंटरप्राइज पर भी हम फोकस कर सकते हैं, इसलिए MSMEs इन फोकस एंड सनराइज सेक्टर्स भी दूसरा कॉम्पोनेंट था। तीसरा कॉम्पोनेंट था कि एम्प्लॉयमेंट में चूँकि फोकस था, तो ऑलरेडी कुछ लोग जो अच्छा कर रहे हैं पिछले 20 सालों में, है ना, वी आर नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग आउट ऑफ ब्लू, ऑलरेडी सिस्टम इज गोइंग ऑन। कुछ इंटरप्राइज ऑलरेडी अच्छा कर रही हैं, उनको हम सपोर्ट करके उनको इनलार्ज कर सकते हैं। अगर माइक्रो में अच्छा कर, अगर नैनो इंटरप्राइजेज है तो उसको माइक्रो में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं, माइक्रो अगर है तो मीडियम स्मॉल में कर सकते हैं, स्मॉल को मीडियम में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं। तो इसको हमें लगा कि हम उस पर भी फोकस करें कि जो इंटरप्राइजेज हैं उनको एक्सपैंड कैसे करना है। और चौथा हमें लगा कि ऑफ कोर्स न्यू इनोवेटिव जो नॉलेज बेस्ड इंटरप्राइजेज, नए स्टार्टअप्स हैं, उनको भी हमें कहीं ना कहीं इनोवेशन इकोसिस्टम को भी कहीं ना कहीं आज की बदलती दुनिया में इनकरेज करना, क्योंकि एक स्टार्टअप कैन क्रिएट, है ना, दिस आर न्यू आइडियाज़। तो आइडियाज़ को भी प्रमोट करने के लिए हमारे वो भी एक फोकस एरिया हमने रखा कि चौथा फोकस ग्रुप है आइडियाज़ का। ऑल्दो द नंबर्स इज लेस, इट इज़ नॉट अबाउट मास एम्प्लॉयमेंट, बट दिस इज अबाउट द न्यू आइडियाज़, है ना, उसको हम कैसे बिजनेस में कन्वर्ट करें टू ब्रिंग न्यू स्टार्टअप्स। और अगर आप देखें इसको सपोर्ट करने के लिए 4 पिलर हमने रखा ना। पहला पिलर ये कल्चर, 4C हमने लिखा है, कल्चर इज लाइक इकोसिस्टम। हमने बोला ना सबसे बड़ी लड़ाई है माइंडसेट की, है ना, फियर की, आइडिया जनरेट करने की, है ना। कल्चर हमें लगा कि सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है कल्चर। सेकंड इज कैपिटल, ऑफ कोर्स वी कैपिटल हमने रखा है। हमने बिल्कुल बोला कि बिल्कुल सब्सिडी जीरो नहीं कर देंगे टू स्टार्ट विथ, है ना। सो अगर आप देखें कैपिटल प्रोपोर्शन इसमें बहुत कम है। हमने सिर्फ नैनो इंटरप्राइजेस के लिए रखा है कि हम कुछ कैपिटल सब्सिडी देंगे और इंटरेस्ट सबवेंशन देंगे, बाकी सब सारी चीज़ों में सिर्फ इंटरेस्ट सबवेंशन है। तीसरा हमें लगा कि सिर्फ यहीं तक हमारी बात नहीं खत्म हो जाएगी, एक बार बिजनेस स्टार्ट हो गया तो कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग भी इंपॉर्टेंट है। उसको हैंड होल्डिंग करने की ज़रूरत है, उसको ट्रेन करने की ज़रूरत है, उसको लेटेस्ट बिजनेस में क्या उसको सपोर्ट चाहिए वो करने की ज़रूरत है। एक MSME हेल्थ क्लिनिक में हमने स्टार्ट किया, अगर बिजनेस फेल होगा तो उसको क्या ज़रूरत है। और चौथा जो हमें लगा, जो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट हमें लगा यहाँ JNK के लिए लगा, वो हमें लगा कि हम लैंडलॉक कंट्री है, एंड ऑफ द कंट्री है, मार्केट कनेक्टिविटी इज ए चैलेंज। क्योंकि हम लोग जो सर्वे कराया हमें पता चला मैक्सिमम लोगों का जो मार्केट है विद इन डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स है, वो इंटर डिस्ट्रिक्ट भी नहीं जा पाए हैं। फॉरगेट अबाउट द कंट्री, है ना। हम अगर पुलवामा का बंदा है तो पुलवामा में इनफैक्ट वो पुलवामा भी पूरा कवर नहीं कर पा रहा। तो हमें लगा इसको ब्रेक करने के लिए हमें कुछ ना कुछ मार्केट कनेक्टिविटी भी हमें लानी पड़ेगी। और उसका बेस्ट तरीका हमें लगा कि ऑफ कोर्स टेक्नोलॉजी इज सॉल्यूशन। ई कनेक्टिविटी हमने बोला ई मार्केट प्लेस है, जिसको ऑफ कोर्स अगर आप अमेजन में अपने प्रोडक्ट सेल करने पड़ते हैं तो आपको अमेजन को पैसा देना पड़ता है। तो हमने बोला गवर्नमेंट विल क्रिएट एन ऐप, सेलिंग ऐप ऑन विच पीपल कैन रजिस्टर देमसेल्फ फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट। तो ये 4 पिलर हमें लगा कि हमें हैंड होल्डिंग करने की ज़रूरत है। और आप देखें अगर कल्चर में एक तो था कि बहुत टारगेटेड कैंपेन हमें लगा कि करना पड़ेगा हमें ना। इट इज़ नॉट लाइक ए नॉर्मल IC। एक हुआ कि IC की भाई ये स्कीम आई है, बट यहाँ स्कीम नहीं था। इट वॉज टू ब्रेक द बैरियर इन द माइंड। स्कीम नहीं है, इट वॉज टू क्रिएट ए कॉन्फिडेंस इन द पीपल कि ऊपर वाले ने यार तुम्हें डेली वेजर बनने के लिए नहीं, है ना, यू हैव नॉट बीन बॉर्न टू बिकम ए डेली वेजर, है ना। उनको ये, और ये कैसे हो सकता था, वी मेड ए टोटल स्नैपशॉट की व्हाट दे एग्जैक्टली विल डू दी, है ना, IC। हम जब जाते थे लोगों को घरों में एक कैंपेन डिज़ाइन किया गया कि व्हाट यू विल स्पीक, और बहुत स्टैंडर्ड कैंपेन इसको डिज़ाइन किया गया। उसको बताया गया कि देखो डेली वेजर में तुम्हारी एंड व्हाट इज़ योर कैरियर प्रोग्रेशन। आज तुम डेली वेजर हो, 9,000 रुपये कमाते हो तुम, है ना। 10 साल बाद अगर तुम परमानेंट हो जाओगे 30,000 रुपये कमाओगे। टिल योर रिटायरमेंट मैक्सिमम 60-70,000 तुम्हारी सैलरी जाएगी, 1 लाख जाएगी। दिस इज़ व्हाट योर कैरियर विल बी। बट वंस यू स्टार्ट ए बिजनेस, है ना, मे विल स्टार्ट विद 2 lakhs 3 lakhs, है ना, मे बी, बट आफ्टर 10 years this 3 lakh will get converted to 30 lakhs. After maybe 20-30 years it will become 65, and it was supported by success stories. In fact अगर यहाँ के लोग of course जब PM आए थे शायद उनको याद हो कि एक सेल्फी ली थी, है ना, पुलवामा के लड़के ने PM के साथ। I don't know how many people remember it, है ना। तो उसकी ये स्टोरी ये रही है कि he was struggling for 25,000 rupees to start a honey business, और एग्रीकल्चर से उसका लोन रिजेक्ट हो गया था। एनी हाउ यू कुड मैनेज नेक्स्ट ईयर की 25,000 उसने, एग्रीकल्चर ने उसको लोन नहीं दिया बट किसी रिश्तेदार से लोन लेके उसने स्टार्ट किया। एंड वी टुक द सेल्फी, हिज टर्नओवर वाज 66 लाख ओनली इन, है ना, 10 years। इज क्वाइट यंग, लेस देन 35। तो अगर ये सक्सेस, इस टाइप की बहुत सारी सक्सेस स्टोरीज वी क्लब्ड इट, है ना, फ्रॉम JNK इटसेल्फ। मोर देन 1,000 सक्सेस स्टोरीज इज क्लब्ड टू सो दैट पीपल को एक कॉन्फिडेंस देने के लिए है कि आपकी उड़ान ये हो सकती है। आप 1 लाख पे भी रिटायर कर सकते हो डेली वेजर बन के। और आप इनफैक्ट उनको यहाँ तक बताया गया भाई एक IAS DC, उनको नहीं पता था। आई वाज सरप्राइज। उनको जब पूछा कि DC को कितनी सैलरी मिलती है तो उनको लगा कि उन्होंने बताया 10-15 लाख मिलते होंगे। देन दे वर टोल्ड फॉरगेट अबाउट DC, एवं चीफ सेक्रेटरी डजंट गेट मोर देन 3-4 lakhs। सो दे वर सरप्राइज कि हाँ इतनी कम सैलरी मिलती है गवर्नमेंट में। तो वंस दिस वॉज डिजाइंड सो दैट दे कुड रियलाइज कि 30 साल जो जिंदगी के हैं ना, दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, टाइम इज़ मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, है ना। सो ये जो आप डेली वेजर और ये गवर्नमेंट के स्ट्रक्चर में आप सोच रहे हो कि बड़ा कंफर्ट है, बट उसकी एक लिमिटेशन है। अगर आप बिजनेस स्टार्ट करोगे तो उसकी आपके बहुत ज़्यादा ग्रोथ करने के चांसेस हैं। तो दिस कैंपेन वॉज डिजाइन लाइक दिस। उसके बाद नेक्स्ट वॉज टू प्रोवाइड इंस्टीट्यूशनल सपोर्ट मैकेनिज्म। अगर आप देखिए गवर्नमेंट सेटअप में कोई इंस्टीट्यूशनल सपोर्ट मैकेनिज्म नहीं है ग्राउंड लेवल तक। हमारे पास सिस्टम्स हैं बट दे आर मोस्टली कंसिडर्ड डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल, है ना। ग्राउंड लेवल पर सबसे ज़्यादा काम करने वाला अगर कौन सा बंदा है, VLW, विलेज लेवल वर्कर, है ना। दैट इज़ हाउ, ये आशा वर्कर हैं, ये आंगनबाड़ी वर्कर हैं, है ना, या स्कूल में मैक्सिमम टीचर्स हैं। यही 4 कैटेगरीज हैं हमारे ग्राउंड पे, है ना, जो पंचायत लेवल पे है ना। ब्लॉक लेवल पर ऑफ कोर्स वीडियोस हैं, ये हैं। हमें लगा हैंड होल्डिंग के लिए हमें डिस्ट्रिक्ट से लेकर पंचायत तक हमें एक स्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट करना पड़ेगा, और इसी के लिए हम लोगों ने एक स्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट किया डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे स्मॉल बिजनेस डेवलपमेंट यूनिट्स, हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में एक, जो बिजनेस आइडिया को, जो एप्लीकेशंस आएगी उसको हैंड होल्ड करेगा, DPR बनाएगा, आइडिया जनरेट करेगा। उसके नीचे ब्लॉक लेवल पर बिजनेस हेल्प डेस्क है, और उसके नीचे ग्राउंड पे हमें लगा कि 1000 मोटिवेटर्स, क्योंकि हमें 4000 पंचायत, 4 पंचायत पे एक मोटिवेटर होना चाहिए जो हैंड घर घर जा सके। एवरी हाउस वॉज ए टारगेट फॉर अस, so we should reach every house and give it a campaign that there is a scheme that government has come with this, you can avail this. This is how, बाकी this should be in detail, I am just running through it, है ना। so अगर आप देखें उसको वैलिडेट करने के लिए, अब ये सारा चीज़ होने के बाद हमें लगा कि टू वैलिडेट इट यू नीड अ बेस लाइन सर्वे। ए बेस लाइन सर्वे डिज़ाइन किया गया और सेंसस वाइज सर्वे किया गया, एवरी हाउस होल्ड है ना वॉज टच्ड एंड देयर 100 क्वेश्चन ऑलमोस्ट। और आप देखें ये दिस इज जस्ट आउटलाइन कि किस टाइप के क्वेश्चन थे। देन जो करेंट इंटरप्राइजेस है उनको भी अप्रोच किया गया, जो करेंट इंटरप्राइजेस चल रही थी, टू फाइंड आउट कि व्हाट आर द प्रॉब्लम्स दे आर फेसिंग इन द चैलेंजेस, सो दैट वी कुड इंप्रूव एवरीथिंग इन आवर स्कीम। दिस इज जस्ट टू शो, है ना, कि अगर 100 क्वेश्चन थे, आप लुक एट द मैसिवनेस, है ना, 20,000 लोगों ने मिलकर सर्वे किया ओनली इन 2 months एंड एवरीथिंग वाज डिजिटल। दिस इज द टाइम लाइन एंड लुक एट द डाटा दैट वी गॉट। 1 करोड़ हाउस होल्ड का डाटा हमारे पास है अभी, 25 लाख हाउस होल्ड्स एंड 1 करोड़ पीपल, और हर लोगों से 100 क्वेश्चन पूछे गए। वी हैव 100 करोड़ ऑफ डाटा। ये जब डाटा आ गया तो वी डिड नॉट नो व्हाट टू डू विद दिस डाटा, एंड देन वी वेंट टू IIT जम्मू, भाई इस डाटा का एनालिसिस कर दो। IIT जम्मू ने बोला इट्स टू हैवी डाटा, इट विल टेक 1 year। तो वी वेंट टू IIT दिल्ली एंड विद द हेल्प ऑफ IIT दिल्ली, है ना, वी कंस्टिट्यूटेड अ टीम, वी मेड ए AI टूल विच जनरेटेड, है ना, वी वांट टू टेक इन्फेरेंस, है ना। तो अभी भी डाटा है, जो मिनिमम इन्फेरेंस हम कर पाए उसको थोड़ा क्लस्टराइज कर पाए, वो हमने अपने लिए किया। एंड वी कुड आइडेंटिफाई 5.5 लाख पोटेंशियल एंटरप्रेन्योर, जो हमें लगा कि जो क्वेश्चन जवाब के आंसर में हमें लगा कि ये बंदा शो कर रहा है इंटरेस्ट, ही कैन बी अ फ्यूचर पोटेंशियल एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, है ना। सो वी आइडेंटिफाइड 5.5 लाख एंटरप्रेन्योर्स आफ्टर दिस सर्वे। दिस इज जस्ट टू शो कि सर्वे का मैग्नीट्यूड क्या था, है ना। एंड वी वांटेड टू वैलिडेट कि हमारा जो सर्वे है वो बाकी जो एग्जिस्टिंग डाटा उससे कितना मिलता जुलता है। तो वी कुड सेंस कि हमारा सर्वे और एग्जिस्टिंग डाटा बहुत मिलता जुलता है। इससे हमें पता चला कि हमारा सर्वे इज ऑल्सो लिटिल ऑथेंटिक ऑन अ बिगर साइज, एंड दिस इज व्हाट आई एम वाज टेलिंग। अगर हम 18 से 60 का ग्रुप लेंगे तो 8.5 लाख लोग हमें लगे कि दे आर पोटेंशियल एंटरप्रेन्योर, है ना। बट अगर वो एज ग्रुप को हमने स्क्वीज किया 18 से 40 आप करेंगे तो अराउंड 6 लाख, उसमें से हमने कुछ निकाल दिया जो हायर एजुकेशन में स्टडी कर रहे थे, तो 5.5 लाख हमें लगे कि रेडी टारगेटेड ग्रुप है, हम इनको ही टारगेट करें। हमें लगा अब इन जनरल करने से अच्छा है फर्स्ट वी शुड टारगेट दीज 5.5 लाख एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, क्योंकि ऐसे भी हमारा टारगेट वाज ओनली 1 लाख। सो हमें फिर भी उसका 5 times, है ना, वी गुड द 5 times, वी फोकस्ड ऑन दीज 5.5 लाख एंटरप्रेन्योर्स। आई विल शो द रिजल्ट्स एंड हाउ द रिजल्ट्स आर इंस्पायरिंग, है ना। उसको फिर लास्ट इसके ये सब तो स्ट्रक्चर हो गया, बट एवरीथिंग टू हैंड होल्ड करने के लिए वी नीडेड ए डैशबोर्ड, है ना, कि एवरीथिंग इज टू मॉनिटर्ड ऑनलाइन, है ना। हाउ डू यू डू इट? आपके से इतना ज़्यादा बड़ा डाटा है, 6,850 विलेजेस को आप कोऑर्डिनेट करना है, 2,000 मोटिवेटर्स, हाउ डू यू कोऑर्डिनेट इफ यू डोंट हैव ए इंटीग्रेटेड ऑनलाइन सिस्टम? तो अगर आप देखिए इसके लिए भी इट टुक, है ना, more than 6-7 months, 8 months to design this app, and it has so many features. Credit module is one, seller app, job portal, skill videos. I will just quickly run through it, है ना. There is skill module, है ना, one feature is skill module. 25,000 skill videos are there. So more than 1,000 courses, certified courses are there. These are all designed by NSDCs and IIT Bombay, and all those courses are there. We have amalgamated it, है ना. We have not created any new course. Then there are 14 languages, है ना. Then soft skills, which is required everywhere. Future skills, offline courses. This is just to show, है ना. Credit model. This was designed for the complete system. जो HADP में भी है. This is standard now, है ना. कि every flow is now, है ना, online system. Once you apply, you have to apply online. Then it moves online system. This was why this is important, because we wanted to track every application where it is pending and what is the deficiency in that, and we wanted to learn from that everything where we are missing it. And the biggest thing, what I was telling, the problem is when you go to a village, लोग सबसे पहले पूछते हैं कि हमें करना क्या है. That's why it came out with the idea of DPR repository and DPR generator both. रिपोजिटरी में हमने ऑलरेडी जो सक्सेसफुल, जिसमें बैंक लोन दे चुका था, क्योंकि इससे पहले भी इतनी स्कीमें चल रही है, प्रधानमंत्री एम्प्लॉयमेंट गारंटी प्रोग्राम एंड सो मेनी गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स, वी कलेक्टेड ऑल दोज सक्सेसफुल DPRs which were approved by the banks and make it a repository. कि why to start from scratch? You do whatever has already been sanctioned by the bank. तो 2000 से अधिक से ज़्यादा एक तो DPR रिपोजिटरी आ गई, और उसके अलावा अगर आपका कोई नया आइडिया है, सिंपल नया आइडिया, अगर आप कहते हैं कि मुझे डेयरी यूनिट खोलना है और 5 लाख का खोलना है, जस्ट टाइप दिस मच, and after this the DPR generator generates all 20 pages required for the bank, and then we show it to the JK Bank and everybody, SBI and everybody, whether they will satisfy, whether their branch manager will accept this DPR. They says okay, है ना. After that we have integrated it as a now it is available to the online to the public. You can also try it, है ना, in this house, है ना. If you want to, if you have anything, you just type it and it will generate a DPR. Then this ONDC seller app that I was telling you, we developed this in collaboration with ONDC. We wanted an app on which free of cost people can sell like an Amazon product. This is still not being used so exhaustively, just it has been made and now it is in process of, we are in process of onboarding, है ना. Sell तो तभी होगा जब सारे shops इस पे onboard हो जाएंगे. That onboarding process is going on. Once it is done, maybe its impact we'll see in next 6 months. And this is a job portal. We have integrated whatever jobs are available, है ना, in the private market, government market at one platform, so that people have access to. जैसे आपको नहीं तो अलग-अलग पोर्टल पे आपको जाना पड़ता है, naukri.com या private jobs के लिए या government jobs के लिए आपको SSB में जाना है, PSC में जाना है, UPSC में जाना है. That everything has been integrated and brought on one platform, so that we go and search at only at one places. Whatever jobs are there listed there, you can see at a glance. Then there is a government scheme advisor. There are so many schemes going on. So we have brought every scheme on a single platform. क्या आप उसी स्कीम पे आपको बताएगा HADP में क्या क्वालिफिकेशन आप उसमें एलिजिबल है कि नहीं, प्राइम मिनिस्टर एम्प्लॉयमेंट गारंटी प्रोग्राम के लिए क्या कंडीशंस है, उसमें आप एलिजिबल हैं कि नहीं. अगर आप एलिजिबल हैं तो आप उसको क्लिक करेंगे, आपको वो का डेडिकेटेड लिंक पे ले जाएगा. So this is like a one-stop portal where the government as a whole, you can see government as a whole rather than going to the departments. So this is a government scheme advisor. And there is also a feature we have introduced for the young children, career counseling. अगर 10th पे आप 10+2 पे हैं, school going हैं, and what kind of career you should choose, and parents को भी सबसे बड़ा ये क्वेश्चन होता है कि मेरे बच्चे के लिए मेरा कैरियर क्या होगा. So we have designed 500+ career paths depending on your educational qualification and what skilling you are doing, currently doing. And it also advises कि आपको कौन से skill करना चाहिए और वो skill कहाँ available है इंडिया में. Then there are success stories, है ना. Everybody wants to, है ना, see कि there is somebody who has done it before me, है ना. So there are success stories. It helps you, है ना. अगर आप UPSC की तैयारी करते थे, इफ़ यू रिमेंबर, आप जब पत्रिका पढ़ते थे तो उसमें सबसे पहले एक इंटरव्यू पे भी आपका जाता था ना, UPSC के टॉपर का इंटरव्यू, और आप बुक्स में सबसे पहले वही पढ़ते थे. एंड आफ्टर दैट यूज टू रीड अदर आर्टिकल्स, है ना. सो दिस सक्सेस स्टोरीज इज टू गिव जस्ट द कॉन्फिडेंस, है ना, कि आपके जैसे ही आपके बगल में किसी ने इतना अच्छा बिजनेस किया, यू कैन ऑल्सो डू इट. Then there is a chat bot. If anything you want to ask, then the first thing, the reply will come from the AI, है ना, and there are dedicated team is there with us who replies on the real time. This is how it was to be done, है ना. I have already explained कि SBDU हमने डिस्ट्रिक्ट में हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में एक SBDU किया, हर ब्लॉक में बिजनेस हेल्प डेस्क किए. उद्यम जागृति I have already explained कि very targeted campaign we did, है ना. We touched every households, every college, and now we are targeting self-help groups. So very targeted, oriented campaign we did, and a very structured. It was not left to the man, it was designed at the highest level, and then training were given how this will be delivered at the grassroots level. And this is a 2-hour session, fixed, standard 2-hour sessions for each campaign. Coming to the capital, and now the times to come after all this and what we have done. And this was launched in, I guess, July or August this year. तो 6 महीने हुए अभी इस स्कीम को, है ना. And look at the numbers, 75,000 applications we have received only in 6 months. जबकि हमारा टारगेट है 1.37 in 5 years. 75 already achieved. And 50 lakhs is already approved by the district committee. 50 लाख अप्रूव हो चुका है. 20,000 ऑलमोस्ट बैंक से अप्रूव होने वाले हैं. और 1,000 करोड़ डिसबर्स हो चुका है. 1,000 करोड़ इज इन पाइपलाइन. So this whatever we have done, the hard work, now we are getting the result. In 6 months we are seeing the results. And if you see this, है ना, this is the most satisfying thing is that the application has come from every panchayat. 95% panchayats we've covered from when the application has been approved. And if you say 80%, the application is from the rural areas, and 25% from the women group. So we have reached to the, otherwise before these schemes were concentrated in and around the urban areas. This is the scheme which has reached pan-rural. And the first generation entrepreneurs. My focus was always on first generation entrepreneurs, जिसमें घर में कभी इससे पहले कोई business ना हुआ. So that partly we have achieved, and the results are showing. Of course, then there is a capacity building what we are doing. If you see, there are 4 components. Everybody should know entrepreneurship, business management, sector-specific training. So these technology, what is the latest technology, what is the latest finance? Mandatory, we are giving 15 days training to everybody, to handhold, to know them, what is the business. And connectivity, I have already told, in 6 months you are going to see this, that is already done. Now the shops are getting onboarded, and after 6 months, maybe the impact we'll see. This is just to summarize, the first year was only for planning and doing whatever I was telling about, creating structures, institutional structures, Jagriti campaigns, and baseline 7, all that. And after this, the first year, we have already achieved, and this is the budget. 1830 crore is the budget for the 5 years. And what I was telling, we have only spent it till date 100 crores. And 2,000 crores is already disbursed by the bank. So 20 times is the disbursement done with this is the scheme where it has multiplied 20 times. The benefit is of 20 times. And this is what I will say, the before scenario and after scenario. This is what we're hoping. Pan after Yuva, J&K will also be considered like Gujarat and South India is considered as, where the self-employment is also considered one of the prime thing. In fact, we calculated, I will just end with this. कि एक रफ हम लोगों ने बोला है 3 लाख लोग हर साल 10th पास करते हैं यहाँ पे. Of course, someday they will go into your current workforce, after maybe, and if you don't, एक साल में वो absorb नहीं होंगे तो अगला 3 साल 3 लाख भी आ रहा है, 3 लाख भी आ रहा है. तो what we could analyze, 3 लाख आप कहाँ absorb कर सकते हो? सिर्फ 6 जगह हैं जहाँ पे employment आपको मिल सकती है. एक सरकारी नौकरी, government recruitments. दूसरा, जहाँ गवर्नमेंट इन्वेस्ट कर रही है खुद, जैसे हमारे प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, गवर्नमेंट का बजट आता है, सरकार का 50,000 करोड़ का बजट आता है, फाइनली वो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर होते हैं, फिर वो किसी को इंगेज करते हैं, वो भी एक एम्प्लॉयमेंट है. थर्ड एम्प्लॉयमेंट इज प्राइवेट सेक्टर में इंडस्ट्रीज, जहाँ पे इंडस्ट्रीज सर्विसेज, वहाँ पे आप एम्प्लॉय हो सकते हो. चौथा या तो नेशनल लेवल पे, लोकल नहीं, नेशनल लेवल पे प्राइवेट गवर्नमेंट में आप एम्प्लॉय हो सकते हो. पांचवा ओवरसीज आप जा सकते हो, इंटरनेशनल प्लेसमेंट हो सकते हो. और छठा आपको सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट ही बचता है. तो ऊपर के 5 हमने सारे कैलकुलेट कर लिए. सरकार 20,000 से अधिक को एम्प्लॉय नहीं कर सकती. मैक्सिमम 8,000 10,000 एसएसबी में निकलता है एवरेज. मैं मैक्सिमम की बात कर रहा हूँ 20,000. गवर्नमेंट के इंसेंटिव्स जो है 50,000 करोड़ के बजट में, आई डोंट नो कितने लोग उसमें एब्जॉर्व होंगे, क्योंकि उसमें उस लेवल की स्किल्स आपकी कितनी होंगी. कुछ लोग बाहर से भी एब्जॉर्व होंगे. मे बी 20, 25, 30,000 कैन बी एब्जॉर्व देयर. उसके बाद लोकल, यहाँ बड़ी इंडस्ट्री तो है नहीं, 20-25,000 मान लें वहाँ भी करेंगे. 20-25,000 आप पैन इंडिया कर लेंगे, है ना. 20-25,000 इंटरनेशनल कर देंगे, तब भी ये सारा फिगर 1.25 लाख ही होता है. अभी भी 1.5 लाख का फिगर जो है, वी हैव टू डू नो अदर ऑप्शन बट वी हैव टू गो फॉर सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट. So this is a scheme which has to go on forever if you have to really solve the problem of employment. Thank you.
So you would appreciate the flagship scheme Mission Yuva. It's perfect example of thinking big, perfect execution, and before the execution, perfect planning. Do a lot of groundwork. Make use of the people, make use of the institutions, make use of the technology. And the best things about this scheme, Mission Yuva, would be, in my opinion, very, very simplified procedures and very, very friendly approach towards the target group. And at the end, the ultimate beneficiary, the youth, it's positive orientation of how you can benefit out of the scheme. One of the good uses of the massive data generated out of Mission Yuva is this data is being used by many departments. 2 very important programs, IEC campaign on anti-drugs. A lot of data has been used out of this data generated of Mission Yuva. When the new criminal laws, now new laws, when they were introduced on 1st of July 2024, reaching out to the people, to the masses, to make them aware about the new laws. The data was used partly. During that time, the data was still in the process of making. And again, a perfect example of bridging the gap between what do you need and what you can supply. Thank you, Rajiv, for this very, very interesting session. Our last speaker in this session is Dr. Piyush Singla, Secretary IT Department, Government of J&K, and important topic of e-office, which every session has touched upon in today's program. So over to you, Piyush.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to all the distinguished guests, senior colleagues, and one and all in the audience. I'm thankful to DRPG, Government of Jammu and Kashmir, for giving this opportunity. When we look forward at the digital journey of Jammu and Kashmir, it is not merely a story of technological adoption. It is a story of mindset transformation. A few years ago, digital service delivery was limited in scope and scale. Today, we stand at a point where 1562 government services are available online to our citizens. There are many other such initiatives where work is going on various fronts like cybersecurity, Jammu Kashmir AI mission, WhatsApp messaging services, effort to do government process re-engineering. But today I would just like to highlight very briefly about the e-office because of the sheer impact it has created over the years. This shift did not happen because of the software alone, but it happened because there was a collective appetite for the change from leadership, from institutions, and from the people of Jammu and Kashmir. First, this is a journey of grit, e-office implementation in J&K. On the very first slide, I have put truckloads of file and porters carrying, unloading those trunks, carrying the files. And I'm sure everyone sitting in the audience must have been using e-office in one or other form. But what was unique in J&K, because this exercise was happening every 6 months. Every 6 months, so many hundreds of trucks were moving from Jammu to Srinagar, coming back from Srinagar to Jammu, and files were being unloaded. And we know when the files are moving manually in this fashion, what can happen to a file? So there was a manual file movement. There was duplication and loss of records due to reliance on the physical files. Obviously, there was high cost and logistic burden from office shifting and limited accessibility for officials during strikes, shutdowns, or disruptions, which was a practical challenge because during those days, we used to see very frequent disruptions because of the law and order challenges. And at the end, it leads to inconvenience to the citizens. So these trucks were moving every 6 months, unloading the files, creating huge cost to the government, and during the segregation of the file by the peon or someone else to your office, many files were gone left and right. So imagine that cost is still not figured. So how important is to have e-office in J&K where there have been so many issues is one of the very impactful initiatives. And this journey has not been very simple because there have been a lot of record in the offices, and this record was all supposed to be scanned. And this effort happened over the span of 2 years. Dedicated vendors were appointed who scanned all the files, and in a time-bound fashion, the e-office was made live. And I'm proud to say that there is no duality in the e-office in the Jammu and Kashmir Secretariat. So if there is e-office file, there is no physical file about it in 99.9% of the cases. Anywhere in IT, whenever there is a dual system, that duality never works. The biggest challenge will be to the IT system, but here, because there is no duality, it is only the e-office, and there is a continuous feedback from the officers, from the senior administration, and there have been constant improvements in the features and functioning of the e-office. And I'm pretty sure every state and every other institution is using e-office, but the journey in J&K has been a bit unique. So I'm calling it e-office 1.0 because we do not want to stop our appetite to just secretariat. We want to percolate it to the deputy commissioner level, further down to tehsils and block level, which is e-office 2.0. I do not want anyone to confuse e-office 1.0 with the software version which we are using. 1.0 is the first stage of e-office implementation. We covered secretariat and the DC offices. So it is a paperless workflow, faster approval, easy access, audit trails, collaboration, security. In this process, 420 plus admin departments, HODs and DC offices were connected. There are 22,000 plus users, 4,000 plus VPN users onboarded. University of Jammu, University of Kashmir, Mata Vaishno Devi University, SQUAS Jammu, they all have been onboarded in some or other form, and gradually the expansion is to cover 100%. Now, I want to throw some light on e-Office 2.0 implementation. So the main aim is to extend digital governance to the last administrative unit up to 207 tehsils across districts of UT of Jammu and Kashmir, which obviously will be quick decision making, faster delivery of services, accountability, transparency, environment friendly, go green initiatives, always available, never be lost, store perpetuity, streamlined file management. Which is not captured here, in my opinion, it is the liberty to dispose and provide the government service at your fingertips. So many of us are using e-Office. It's such an ease that wherever we are available, even we are outside the state, we got a call from our higher office that, look, this file is important, has to be addressed, and we immediately next 10 minutes sit on our office and do it. So imagine what will happen if it connects our tehsils and blocks. If there is a percolation to the field level and we can connect it to the main e-Office 1.0, that will be the real thing we are looking for. So just want to briefly highlight where we have been in this journey of e-Office 2.0. It is a multi-tiered implementation teams. In 2025, state, divisional and district teams have already been notified. Secretary IT at state level and DCs at district level, they have been taking periodic progress and reviews. Compliance monitoring is happening. ADDCs have been nominated as nodal officers. There are defined roles and responsibilities for each level to coordinate, report, technical assistance, and user onboarding. Digital first mandate, deputy commissioners to ensure 100% e-adoption. So here the challenge lies, because I initially discussed about duality, as there is no duality in secretariat, but yes, if there is a duality at the field level, at the district level, the purpose, or tehsil block level, the purpose will defeat. Here is the present position. We want to digitize all the records which are in our tehsils, and with the great work happening in the revenue department front, a lot of land record has been digitized and made available online. So I think this will give a long-term linkage to our initiative of e-Office 1.0. So state level teams, one state level team established technical oversight, user mapping, training coordination, VPN creation, coordination, and this is a very regular effort. So there is a full-fledged team which almost daily speak to some other people in the districts, handhold them, resolve the issues, so that it is not just that a technical glitch can just derail our initiative. And the divisional level teams have been created, 2 divisional level teams established, which are again overlooking email, VPN creation, issue escalation, reporting, user mapping, and various coordination issues. Then again, district level teams, as already highlighted, ADCs have been nominated as the nodal officers, and deputy commissioners have been taking periodic review. The Chief Secretary very recently took a detailed review with all the deputy commissioners, and there was clear directions to ensure that this percolates to the last mile on the ground. What is the process flow? Step 1 is the data collection, gathering user EMD details for email and VPN processing, file head mapping, email and mapping, creation of email IDs and user mapping in the DC instance, file head mapping, then VPN setup. So just to highlight, what is the progress of e-Office 2.0? Now, recently, all the instances of e-Office have been migrated successfully to the Nixie managed Railtel cloud. Earlier, it was on our own SDC, but we, because of the capacity issue, since e-Office 2.0 has to be made live, we shifted it to Railtel so that we can have more licenses and the technical support. So it is a 3-year cloud hosting support, 3 years manpower support. As on date, out of the offices, 4061 total target offices to be onboarded in e-Office 2.0, 4061, 100% offices have been onboarded. For the users, 22,000 users, almost 99% users have been onboarded. So by this data, everyone who is supposed to use e-Office have already been onboarded and the users are there. But issue again is of duality. Now, for the last 1 year, our whole effort has been to address that issue of duality. We have been speaking to deputy commissioners so that the digitization issues on the field, they can be resolved, and there is no duality. Like there is smoothness in the secretariat, the file will strictly be moving online. Similarly, it has to be in the field also, not pick and choose, that some files they want to send online, some files they want to keep it offline. That system will not give the desired results as we are envisaging. So this is the status dashboard. I've already discussed. Office is onboarded 100% and users 95.28%. Just to give the highlight about the key achievements so far, we have broken these various steps. First is the data collection, which included the employee master data details of email and VPN provisioning. It has been completed. Email creation, this was a big step. 20,000 emails have been created. All the users have been onboarded. VPN creation has been successfully done for 11,000 users. Setting up of help desk at district and centralized help desks have been created. 20 master trainers, a district level master trainers have been done. E-office licenses, we have recently got many licenses and we are thankful to Mighty for it, because considering the huge demand of the e-office, considering the breadth and depth where we are heading for the e-office license was a major issue, and at no cost to Government of Jammu and Kashmir, Mighty has been kind enough to give us e-office licenses. Over 220 plus training sessions have been conducted for HODs, DCs and department staff to ensure smooth adoption since rollout of e-office. So now the way forward for 100% e-office implementation 2.0 is non-duality, district-specific escalation protocols, accelerated user mapping, VPN enablement for offices not having NICNet SWAN connectivity. This is one area I want to highlight because connectivity is again a challenge when we talk about the geography of Jammu and Kashmir. Many times there have been SWAN connectivity for a limited number of blocks, but yes, amended BharatNet, which is presently being rolled out, envisages to give the link topography to all the panchayats. So I think with that coming up for J&K and with this kind of pace, e-office percolation in every village panchayat is not the distant future for us. And the support staff continuity, providing technical support, resources for saturation and grassroots level. And I would say that again, e-office is not a software for us. It is a journey of mindset for Jammu and Kashmir where leadership, officers, institutions, everyone pitched in to make the initiative of e-office successful. Thank you so much.
The concept of e-office is applicable all over India. Every state, Government of India offices are fully engrossed into it. But what makes what makes e-office important for J&K, I would say, is the concept of twin capital. The summer capital of Srinagar and the winter capital of Jammu, and the movement which used to happen, the file movement which used to happen. You saw the pictures of truckloads lined up and then moving across. So the life has been made easy through e-office. Now it has been percolated to blocks and subdivision level also. The service delivery has improved. The quality of file disposals have improved. But the down part is that it is comfort agnostic. Comfort is not seen. Whatever time file comes to you, you have to see it depending on the importance of that. Be it 12 o'clock or be it 3 o'clock, as was mentioned during the inaugural session. Now with this, we come to the end of this session, and very important inputs of, I would say, all the 3 tiers of GDP, starting with the agriculture, the manufacturing, and now closing with the services and electronics parts. I would also like to thank all the esteemed speakers on this session, and also Sarita ji for being the co-chair. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Concluding the session on J&K initiatives and best practices, I take this.
So, thank you, sir. Respected Secretary Government of India, Madam Rachna Shahji, officers of the DARPG, and all the distinguished delegates here. It has been a long day, and after lunch session, a very interesting 3 presentations on various innovations, different areas of agriculture, management of the Shrine Board, Mission Yuva, the employment part, and of course e-office. I'll start first with the e-office project, which is implemented from the DARPG. This is the mission mode project of DARPG, and as of now 13,000 plus organizations have been onboarded on this, and districts, there are around 462 districts which are there, which I guess the Jammu Kashmir 20 districts are included in it. And first, when e-office was started in the secretariat in Jammu and Kashmir, this was a huge task of digitization of the legacy data, and the efforts required for the district level digitization will definitely be huge, and the amount of training that is required, besides the actually the pathways forward are going to be as you develop, as you work on this e-office. E-office 7 is right now under implementation, and more features are being added to it, and they will simultaneously multiply the benefits that can be obtained out of the e-office implementation, which includes the use of AI and ML, the chatbots, etc., which is going to make the access of the files also very easy. This is a very appreciable innovation, of course. The HADP is a hugely integrated effort towards bringing to light the sector which is the backbone of economy besides tourism of Jammu and Kashmir, and it is really heartening to know that all the farmers are covered, particularly the horticulture sector, which is also imbibed along with the agriculture, is something which is important to note. The real-time tracking is now replicated in other areas also, and the innovation category of the Prime Minister's Award, of course, and the e-governance awards, which are again implemented by the DRPG. I would request all such good innovations to apply under the award. And once they're not only just recognized, but they, as it was pointed out during the inaugural session also, that it accelerates the good governance and takes it to the other parts of the countries. We also have what is called the National E-Services Delivery Assessment, in which the portals of all these ministries, as well as the public service delivery portals which are created, whether it is in employment, whether it is in the agriculture sector, they are assessed for their content on 7 parameters: their content, the ease of use, etc. So digitization, as it becomes the basis of transparency, good governance, and also inclusivity, so that the last mile is covered, the non-literate is also facilitated in technologies, facilitated to use the technology. This comprehensive aspect of digitization is supported through the DRPG, and the administrative reforms, the next-gen administrative reforms, will be pivoted around the digital, the use of technology, the improving use of technology. And I am really happy to know the way initiatives in Jammu and Kashmir are adopting more and more of the next level of technology, and I wish all of these initiatives very best in their future endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your valuable suggestions and observations here in this session. And before wrapping up this session, it is our profound privilege to felicitate all the officers on the dais, and to do the honors, I request Dr. Tushaba Shinde, Director, Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, to do the honors and felicitate the session chair first, Shri Chandrekar Bharti sir, Principal Secretary Home, with a memento. Now I request him to felicitate Srimati Sarita Chauhan, Additional Secretary, DARPG, Government of India. I also request him now to felicitate Dr. Anjum Andrabi from the Agriculture Department. Anjum Andrabi. Okay. And Sri Alok Kumar Maurya, CEO of the Shrine Board. Additional CEO of the Shrine Board. And now I request him to do the honors to Sri Rajiv Ranjan, Secretary, Labor and Employment Department, Government of Jammu and Kashmir. And I request him to felicitate Dr. Piyush Singla, Secretary, Information and Technology Department, Government of Jammu and Kashmir. So thank you very much, sir. Huh? We can. So we will be back for the valedictory session in a couple of minutes, and since all the dignitaries are here, and we will be starting our valedictory session also after a couple of minutes. Let us, ladies and gentlemen, now start with the valedictory session of this conference. As we come to the close of this national level conference, it gives me immense pleasure to reflect on the journey we have undertaken since morning. The various sessions showcased various exemplary initiatives, innovative practices, and transformational leadership from across the nation. It also showcased the efforts that embody the vision of Viksit Bharat and spirit of service and excellence, recognized by the Prime Minister's Award for Excellence in Public Administration. As we proceed with the valedictory session, let us all renew our pledge towards a prosperous, inclusive, and empowered nation. We must also forward all the lessons learned here and inspirations from this conference for a meaningful action, please. For the valedictory function, it is my profound privilege to invite on the dais Srimati Rachna Shah, Secretary, DRPG, Government of India, and Principal Secretary, Home, Sri Chandrekar Bharti ji. I also invite on the dais Sri Puneet Yadav ji, Additional Secretary, DRPG, Srimati Sarita Chauhan, Additional Secretary, DRPG, Government of India. I also take this privilege of inviting Sri M. Raju, Commissioner Secretary, General Administration Department, Government of Jammu and Kashmir. I also invite Madam Rehana Batul, Director General, J&K IMPAD, and Dr. Toshaba Shinde, Director, DRPG, Government of India. May I request Principal Secretary Home Sri Chandrekar Bharti sir to kindly join us over on the dais, please. Yes. Now it's my proud privilege to invite Secretary General Administration Department Sri M. Raju to address the gathering with his words of wisdom, please.
Good evening. As we conclude the National Governance Conference on Holistic Development of Districts, the Transforming Governance for the Viksit Bharat, it is heartening to reflect upon the depth and the quality of the discussions we have witnessed today. Esteemed guests, several themes have emerged across the invigorating sessions of this conference. The need to strengthen the district planning through the data analysis, importance of empowering the local institutions, the necessity of integrating technology platforms for seamless service delivery amongst the departments, and most importantly, the centrality of the citizens in the governance design. So for Jammu and Kashmir, these learnings are significant as our districts are diverse in geography, demographics, and the development needs. We require adaptive governance and flexible frameworks guided by the national vision, which are responsive to the local realities. The guidance and the insights shared by our panelists have underscored how science, technology, and administrative reforms must converge to build a transparent and a future-ready institutions. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the speakers for sharing their invaluable experiences with us and providing us with the learnings we shall seek to infuse in our own governance model. I would also like to thank the Honorable Union Minister Dr. Jatendra Singh Saab, whose visionary leadership continues to pave the way for our success in transforming the governance for our people. I would also like to thank our Honorable Chief Minister Sir for his guidance as we emphasize an inclusive growth and equitable and participatory governance. I would also like to thank this moment to express my heartfelt deep gratitude to the dedicated and the hardworking team of the Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, headed by the Secretary, Madam Rachna Shah Madam, and Puneet Yadav Sir, for giving us this opportunity to host such a grand event and for helping us to coordinate this enriching and vibrant conference with the best budding administrative minds from across the country. If there is one thing we can carry forward from today, let us carry forward commitments to measurable targets, peer learnings, institutional innovation, as well as a transformation. If our nation's district becomes laboratories to reform, and if governance becomes truly transformative, transparent, and citizen-centric, then the vision of Viksit Bharat will find its roots in the lives of our people. I once again thank all the participants and contributors for making this conference such a resounding success. Let this mark another chapter in our story of a sustained movement for governance transformation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now it gives me immense pleasure to respectfully invite Srimati Rachna Shah, Secretary, Ministry of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances and DRPG, Government of India, for the inaugural address, please.
I think it's been a long day, but a very fruitful day. There's much that we have learned in terms of all the best practices and the good work that is happening across our country. I want to thank and also appreciate the efforts of the Jammu Kashmir government, represented here on the dais by senior officials, Mr. Chandrakant Bharati, Principal Secretary, Mr. Raju. A special word to Ms. Rehana Batul. I think she's been really helpful with organizing this entire event. I also want to compliment and appreciate my team, DRPG, led by Puneet and Sarita, and all the directors and all the officials. A lot of hard work has gone behind this entire event. And I think the event is essentially successful if we go back from here with some key takeaways and key learnings which we can incorporate in our work. If I were to just sort of look back on the session since morning, and I was fortunate to attend most of the presentations, I think what really stood out for me was that the enthusiasm and the commitment of the officers who were leading their respective teams in terms of wanting to work towards improving systems, towards improving governance and administration. A few key themes or areas that sort of stood out again were things like convergence for maximum impact on ground. I think convergence is something that we really need to seek and to work towards, whether it's convergence amongst schemes and initiatives of the government, state government or UT government, and convergence with the schemes and initiatives of the union government. What was also emphasized in the presentations was the need and importance of detailed planning and finalizing or formalizing a strategy and very close monitoring to see that, I think monitoring probably serves two essential purposes. One is, of course, to see that the progress on the ground is happening as was envisaged, or if there are any bottlenecks which may have come up which need to be resolved. Two, it also gives an opportunity to do any kind of course correction if required. Sometimes there are innovative solutions, localized solutions which probably work best in certain situations. That also came out from the presentations that we saw in the morning. And finally, I think the whole of government approach, which is now really also a mantra of good governance across government, is that when we're talking of districts, for instance, when all departments and organizations, offices within a district work together in tandem, I think the impact is felt the maximum on the ground, and the lives of the citizens can be made that much more easier. Certain, in the afternoon session, I think some very important and flagship initiatives of the Jammu Kashmir government were presented, and I was delighted to see so much work which has happened, whether it is on the holistic agriculture development, a very detailed exercise which has gone into the entire process, or whether it is the Vaishno Devi Yatra, the various things and which are involved in it, the whole concept of using the RFID and other initiatives, the e-office, and the Mission Yuva. I think these are all very important initiatives, and I think there's always, now that we have done so much, there's so much more that needs to be done as well. So when we are e-office, we have to look at e-office analytics, how best now to utilize e-office to further improve our functioning, improve our monitoring, and so on and so forth. One or two thoughts that I'd like to leave with you is also that use of technology and digital governance is something which is here to stay, and now more and more use of AI. So AI is something that can really be very effectively used to improve our systems and to improve our functioning. One practice that we have done in DOPT is that, of course, DOPT, as you are aware, is a policy-making department, all the personnel policy, etc. Sometimes there's so much of plethora of directions and guidelines and all that it becomes difficult to retrieve something. So we have come out with what are we calling as master circulars, in which topic-wise all the information is available in a very easily retrievable form. It's a simple initiative, but it is something which has really helped in streamlining the processes. Another initiative which we have taken is the EHRMS, the Electronic Human Resource Management System. Right from recruitment to retirement, the entire life cycle of the government employee is on the digital format. I would strongly encourage the Jammu Kashmir government to explore this initiative and see whether you can adopt, or maybe you are already doing part of it. So I think, as I said, it's been a particularly fruitful day, and it's been wonderful. Thank you for your hospitality, for your warmth. And in the end, I would just like to convey my best wishes to all of you. Wish you all a very happy Holi. May your life be full of the most beautiful colors. Do well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your inspiring words of wisdom and insightful valedictory address, and summing up all the initiatives that have been covered since morning here. Now we come to the close of this valedictory session, and I request Dr. Tushaba Shinde, Director DARPG, Government of India, to kindly come and present the vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Very warm good evening to all. Honorable Secretary DRPG, Shrimati Rachna Shahab ji, Home Secretary Shri Chandrakar Bharti ji, Additional Secretary DRPG Shri Punit Yadav ji, Joint Secretary DRPG Shrimati Sarita Chauhan ji, Secretary GED Shri Yam Raju ji, Director General JK Impart Shrimati Rachna Batul ji, distinguished speakers and session chairs, senior officers from the union government, state government and union territories, esteemed delegates and ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor for me on behalf of DRPG to propose the vote of thanks at the valedictory session of the National Governance Conference on the Holistic Development of District held in the beautiful city of Jammu. Today we have participated in the insightful discussion, shared forward-thinking ideas and laid down the strong foundation for innovative models of governance. Even though our Chief Secretary sir is not here, but I must convey my and our sincere gratitude to Honorable Chief Secretary, Government of Jammu Kashmir, Shri Atul Dalluji, for his kind leadership and unwavering support. Sir, in this regard, your proactive support and leadership only, it could possible to organize this successful conference at a very short notice. I express my sincere thanks to Honorable Secretary Ma'am Shrimati Rachna Shahji for her meticulous guidance, coordination and vision leadership that made this conference a grand success. Under her dynamic leadership, DRPG continues to advance digital governance, strengthen the public grievance redressal system and promote the district level innovation. I also extend my sincere thanks to Shri Punit Yadav Sarji, Additional Secretary DRPG, whose dedicated efforts and invaluable support played a pivotal role in the seamless execution of this national conference. My gratitude also goes to Shri M. Raju sir, Secretary GAD Jammu Kashmir, as well as Shrimati Rehna Batulji, DG JK Impart, as well as the other dignitaries in this regard, Shrimati Kusumji and other, who have made this meticulous planning, hospitality and excellent coordination that ensured the smooth and impactful conduct of today's deliberation. Sir, in this regard, ma'am, I would like to share, this conference has been organized in the 7 working days only. This is one of the very shortest period where this kind of national conference has organized in the shortest period and a very smooth manner. This definitely. Even I would like to share, ma'am, the print media also, they have managed in a such a way, the 25 print media or the other kind of thing they have been published all things in a very short period. Also, today's discussion has truly reflected the vibrancy and dynamism of India's district. The session on Prime Minister's award-winning initiatives and innovative state practices have reaffirmed that districts are not merely administrative units, they are the engines of transformation and inclusive growth. Allow me to share a few lines that beautifully capture the spirit of today's conference. जहाँ सोच नहीं हो, इरादे बुलंद हो, जहाँ सोच नहीं हो, इरादे बुलंद हो, वहीं से विकास के नए आयाम शुरू हो. जिले जब सशक्त हो, जन जन सशक्त होगा, तभी साकार विकसित भारत का स्वप्न होगा. My heartfelt thanks to also the dedicated team members of DRPG, Amrinder ji, Saurabh ji, Vidu ji and all officers of the government of Jammu and Kashmir for their tireless efforts, often behind the scene, ensured the flawless organization of the conference. I am confident that the ideas, insight and inspiration gathered here in the Jammu will translate into the meaningful and measurable outcome across the nation. With this word, I once again extend my sincere gratitude to our distinguished dignitaries, speakers, participants and organizers for making this national conference a grand success. Thank you very much all of you and happy Holi. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tushaba. Since Dr. Tushaba has been, you want to announce?
I just would like to inform that all the presentation which have been given here, they are available on the barcode which is in our session hall. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Tushaba. Since Dr. Tushaba was the key and the nodal officer in this program who has done a lot of work, I request Madam Rehana Batul to kindly felicitate him also with a memento, please. Now I request all the dignitaries on the dais for a group photograph, please. I request everyone to join us over for tea, also which has been, lined up outside.